Hi and welcome to another Brelliott Amps pedal demonstration. It's with me, Jonny Brelliott, and Gary Williams on guitar.
Hello.
So yeah, today we are demonstrating the Brelliott TODP, the Deluxe TODP, a special edition one because people wanted more features. So we started off. Do you want to go back down to like really low drive? So at the moment this is set to a really low drive where we can, you know, it just adds a little bit of distortion to the signal, makes it sound a little bit more like a tube amp. And that was the kind of aim of the project to start with. But since then, obviously we've got this drive thing here. So if you start playing. So yeah, I had to recover. I just wind the filter back a little bit on that. So yeah, I put a filter on it so that it was an MXR distortion plus to start with. That was the circuit I started with, and it's quite quite a harsh sounding circuit. So I've got that driving the little valve that's in there, the tube. But it does get really harsh. To make it useful, if you're only doing a little bits of kind of distortion on top, this filter just rolls it off nicely. Also, I've left it on 47k load mode, and that just gives you still quite a bluesy, overdrive.
What other modes has it got?
We can go for 100k, and that smooths it out and makes it more bassy. So I think it evens it out and gives it more bass.
Okay.
So most of the stuff I do is in 100k, unless I want it to sound a little bit kind of lopsided and bluesy. I think it does it really well on that mode, on 47. Okay, so it's got the tube overdrive. We can hear the tube overdrive. It's got things like we can do a low boost recovery. Do you want to just... yeah, gives you a bit more bottom end on it. And that goes up in, I think there's 3 per octave. What that means is another matter. Okay, so that's just a tube overdrive so far. So one of the features that went onto the TODP, the plus unit, is I started messing about with distorting devices. So like, if you play now... Germanium, one, silicon, that's LED, that's 2 anti-blocking diodes, 4 anti-blocking diodes,
Just showing off there.
and no anti-blocking diodes.
And When you say LED, do you mean light emitting diodes?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. They're just, you literally put a light emitting diode one way, then a light emitting diode the other way, and then throw.
It's like the lights.
I don't know, but yeah, you can use diodes as a distortion device. Okay. So these additional modes here, they don't just simulate; they actually put the tube into different different kind of stabilities. If you put it with no anti-blocking diodes, then it tends to compress quite a lot, so you end up with the signal being kind of pinched. And then 4 gives you the cleanest tube signal. 2 then starts to sound like it's diode distortion, and then LEDs, LED distortion, silicon, and then germanium. They're just different types of distortion. But the other thing that happens, if you just start on a... The problem is that it starts to get quiet. So remember you were talking about that recovery switch?
Yeah.
But then it stops being tube distortion. I mean, the tube does, it does affect it. It's not quite reaching overdrive on the tube, but it is overdriving the germanium.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the point, that it's now a germanium distortion and not a tube overdrive. So as we go through, it goes more into being a tube overdrive, and the more you go that way, the more it goes into distortion. So what you have to do with that, you have to recover it, because we're just not getting as much signal at the recovery end. But
what's the recovery end?
It's when it hits the valve, it goes into it, but it'll distort it, so it's quite a narrow band of signal. So I need to put more bass on it, because I'll have taken bass off earlier. So I just need a bit of a boost to get it up to kind of levels where we can hear it. Otherwise, when you... So okay, there's germanium. I've got a full drive. So it's a bit louder, but it's not that massive kind of loud that you might want for a boost. So the idea of the recovery is... or I'll put it across there. So that's the idea of the recovery, is it pulls back when you're using distortion instead of overdrive. But what does happen is, if you put the recovery on and then you boost that, take that down there, that on full drive, go on. So there you've got a compressed valve being driven by an overdriven circuit, then being pushed into an op amp that's being overdriven itself, and then you filter it out. So you've got 3 different types of distortion. All you have to do is turn it down. Go on, play.
Turn it down?
So, so what I did there, because it was starting to sound a bit flubby. You could, like the bass was really flubby. But what you can do is you can pull this. You've got a low cut filter. You can take all of that bass out. With the other switch.
Those different things with the filter, the low cut filter.
What's that?
Yeah, the sound of the low cut filter while I'm playing. Okay.
So that's quite flubby in that direction, but if you turn it. You end up with basically it's loads more tightness in the bottom because it's not really distorting the bottom, but it is bringing the bottom back when you're recovering it. The idea of mixing those low frequencies out earlier on, so you only really getting the mid ranges being distorted. I mean, you can do the same with the high. You can do, if I send that back to its normal state. So if we're going there, we can turn the high all the way down.
Okay, that's a lot kind of cleaner.
Yeah, a kind of rat in a box kind of distortion. Or you can turn it the other way around and have all that back again. From the guitar when you're processing all of it, but you get lots more of a buzz when you kind of take that down.
It kind of sings more.
Yeah.
Taking it out.
But it's like a palette, so you can kind of run with it as you kind of want. I really enjoy sticking it on that compressed mode. Stick it on the balance one.
An instruction manual for
no, I was just thinking of doing a video, inviting my mates round and doing it like that. Yeah.
In that case, start with the button. What's the top left do?
Top left.
Yeah.
That's filter. Go on, play that. Level?
Level the filter or level the...
Just level.
Off.
So then low boost.
So you've got a low boost as what? Okay.
So it starts off with no boost, and then it's a sub boost, and then
is that the same amount of boost going through different frequencies?
it just moves where it's boosting. So it does every click. It takes you up a third of an octave on the filter, and all these are set to a third of an octave per click.
Okay.
So it just takes your filter upwards or downwards, depending on which one it is. Okay, next button. Recover, that's the loudie.
Yeah, I got the idea of that from what you said already.
Yeah, so natural in the middle, 6 dB boost at the top, and then 12 dB boost at the bottom. Then load switch just says how much the valve or tube is loaded. This is the switch we were talking about earlier that either has you with no anti-blocking, 4 anti-blocking diodes,
LED,
2 anti-blockers,
geranium and the
silicon,
different sort of.
So that's
sorting the tone.
Yeah, that's
and
like
then, one right on the right under the light.
Under the light, that's drive.
get drive.
Yeah. It's pretty much the same you find in most pedals.
So like the ones on the left and the right, the extremes are what you find in most pedals, and the stuff in the middle is the like the tinkering to make it lots of different distortions.
Yeah. So I mean, those are your main 3 buttons on the outside.
Yeah.
So then you got these high cut and low cut filters, which just process.
High end.